guys, welcome to DM Talk. I'm Henry Knight. I'm the DM Playerole. We have a big game coming tomorrow, April 27th, 8 p.m. Central. Playerole is back with a 2-shot. Part 1 tomorrow at 8 p.m. Join us. But tonight, guys, we have a very special DM Talk. We got 3 hot topics. Number 1, Murder-Hobos. And this is not scripted. I talk it out right here. We talk about, after the 3 topics, anything you want is game. Second topic, what races do you allow in your games? Yes, what races do you allow in your game? 3, campaign length. How long are your campaigns? Are they long, short, or whatnot? Let me know here. Anyways, welcome to DM Talk. And let me check my, hey, what's up, Facebook? Don't leave. YouTube, what's up? We're here at DM Talk talking about our first topic, Murder-Hobos. Murder-Hobos is, streaming is good, all right. Murder-Hobos is a pretty touchy subject for me. And that's because when you have a campaign, right, or a one-shot, or you're running a game, and you run a game and you get one of these players, one of your players, and they go on a rampage. Well, do you allow that? Is that proper in a game to have your player just go on a rampage? Just go ahead and kill off everybody in your campaign. Kill off every NPC they see. Why? Why do it? Do they have a reason? Because it's fun. Is it? Really? It's fun being an asshole. Really? That's pretty much what it is. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're just being an ass. Why would you ever do that? No answer? Oh, okay. So when your player goes off on a tangent, when your player goes off and pulls out a sword or whatnot, and you have this elaborate game and you're playing a hero, all heroes, or maybe you're playing neutral characters or whatever you're playing in general, right? You're playing characters in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. You're playing a paladin or even a group of rogues, whatever. Even when a group of rogues, per se, they do what they do. You don't have to be evil. You don't. Even if you're chaotic neutral, you're bound by these laws, okay? Even if you're playing neutral, you're bound by everything. When you destroy someone's campaign on purpose because you want to destroy the NPCs or cause complete havoc, that's just being a jerk. Really, it is. Well, you're going to tell me, it's okay. Henry, it's okay. It's all part of Dungeons and Dragons. It's all part of role-playing. And I say you're full of crap. No, it's not. The player is just being a complete jerk. The player just wants to do what the hell they want to do. And it doesn't work that way. Want to know why? Because let's say, and I'm not going to mention anyone's name, let's say that a big-time YouTuber, right? They're doing a game, and then all of a sudden one of their players, they start murdering people just for the hell of it, and you're getting creatures or whatnot. That's all you're doing. You're not role-playing, you're doing that. That is not cool. You think they're going to like it? The famous YouTubers, there's a whole bunch of them out there. DMs that have their own shows. You think they're going to like that? Nope, they're not. They're not going to tolerate it. And you're not going to be probably welcome back in their table. Want to know why? because you're just being a jerk. Murder-Hobos is a waste. It really is. Why not play a hero? Why not play a hero? Playing a hero, number one, is harder because you're a hero. You're fighting for a greater cause. You're a good guy. Oh, but I like playing a hero. Really, you do? Well, why are you doing that? Okay. Or you're playing a rogue doesn't mean you have to go on tangents. You could have story, and let's say you're playing a chaotic neutral character. You could have a story in that character and still do things without going to a tavern and destroying everything. You don't have to do that. It's not good writing. I wouldn't write that. If I don't know how other DMs do it, but I know that in my campaigns, I won't tolerate it. I've told all my players, you murder hobo, you better have a reason why you're doing it. Because there are consequences. And if your character doesn't die in the next hour or two, well then, oh well, bye. It's just the way it is. It's a touchy subject for me because it is part of Dungeons and Dragons. Is it? No, it's not. People think it is, right? Just like, well, I'm gonna ruin somebody's game. I'm gonna ruin everybody's fun. Let's say you have a party of 9 players. And out of those 9 players, one guy is just doing crazy crap, right? And then what? And then what happens? What happens when that player goes off? What happens when that player ruins it for everybody else? So the other 8 people in that party, and that one player is murdering, he's a murder hobo, and he's doing, and let me explain to you what a murder hobo is, by the way. Let me go back for the audience. A murder hobo is somebody who just kills creatures, NPCs, whatever, with no reason, and just, they do it. They go into a tavern, they do whatever. The DM describes a scene, elaborate scene, and blah, 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 and they do it. They interrupt the DM, and they do it. They're being rude, and they're just plain assholes, period. That's who they are. Because the point is, when you're role-playing with a group, and if you're, whatever alignment you are, it doesn't matter. Even if you're playing neutral, you don't do that. Because it's a fantasy game. It's a game, right? You're there to have fun. You're there to have fun with other people that want to enjoy the same game you do. Right? Do you think it's right for a person to interrupt a scene and cause havoc? Oh yeah, some DMs will tolerate it. I won't. I'm not happening. I'm not going to tolerate it. Why would you, as a DM, tolerate it? And why would these professional DMs tolerate it? And why would other YouTubers that do the same thing that I do tolerate it? They won't. No, they won't. Not one has. But it's okay for you to do that, right? Because it sounds cool. No, it's not. You're just being an ass. Your other players don't like it. You don't like it. Or do you like it? Yeah, of course. You're going to go out there and you're going to be, well, it's okay to do it because it's my character. My alignment is chaotic neutral and I'm playing my character. No, you're not. You're not playing your character. You are disrupting the game. You're being a jerk and the other players don't like it. So the whole point of Dungeons and Dragons is to immerse yourself in a fantasy role-playing setting. How could you immerse yourself in a fantasy role-playing setting when you have one person in your party doing something that's completely not even in his character? It's not. Murder hobos should not be allowed at all. Period. Now, if it's part of your story, excuse me, and then the story is, okay, I'm going to go to a town and I'm going to avenge my family's killer, my mother's killer, right? I'm going to avenge that person. So you go to the town and you see your mother's killer and you want to avenge your mother, because that killer, that soldier killed, or that magistrate, whatever, killed your mother. So you want to avenge her, right? So you go in there and there's 15 soldiers protecting that one magistrate. So you go on a tangent and you go and take them out one after another, before you go to the magistrate. And when you get to the magistrate, you finally destroy that magistrate, kill that magistrate. Is it good? Yes. It's part of a story, because you're using vengeance to get there. You're like, oh, wait, it's the same thing as murder hobo. No, it's not. It's not the same thing, because the party will work with you. Oh, a party member is part of their story. Let's help my partner do that. Okay, why not? So the only problem that I see here in this scenario, where you have a party and you go avenge your mother's killer, right? Is other players may not join you, and they may say, well, you know what, it's not a good idea. Maybe don't kill him. Let's try to coerce the magistrate to do whatever, right? Let's try to get money out of him, and that's it. That might work. That's all part of the story. Your other players discuss what you want to do, but for that person is pissed off, and he wants the magistrate to die because of what that person did to his family or his mom. Okay, so now we've just said that there's a story, and in that story, you're allowed to do things and go and move forward as a party. But if you have a party of 8 or 9 or even 6 or 4 or whatever it is, and one player decides to go on tangents and blah, 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 I'm going to murder everybody, and the other 3 players, so you have a party of 4, and the other 3 players don't like it, you're being a jerk. You're being a complete jerk. Why would you do that? Why would you murder everybody in that group? And the other players are going to get mad at you, and they're going to say, hey, what the hell are you doing? And they're going to have this huge discussion in the table. There's going to be arguments, and your whole game is ruined because that person was being a jerk. There's other words I can use, but there's no reason to. No reason to swear. It just irritates the hell out of me, because when you have a party, a group of players, and they are adventuring and they're immersing themselves in a fantasy world, and you have one player or even 2 deciding to, hey, I want to go ahead and ruin everything for everybody else. And it's no longer a party, it's no longer a game, you're no longer having fun. It's just 2 people being jerks. So, do you allow that in your games? That's up to you. That is the first topic, and murder hobos. And it's a big itch with me. I don't like it. I will not tolerate it. And, if you like murder hobos, by all means, it will ruin your campaign. It will ruin it. And you can be the best DM ever. The best DM, right? And guess what's going to happen? Your campaign's going to fall, because all those players, murder hobo players, all they do They don't do it for fun. Well, they do it in their mind, it's fun, but everybody else is not having fun. When they ruin everybody else's fun, then what? It ruins the concept of what role playing is. But as a group, if you go as a group and you want to be an evil characters, or you want to do whatever, you got to discuss it as a group. As long as you do things as a group, it's fine. But then you're going to say, wait a second. The whole group are going to be murder hobos. That's why you have session 0. That's why you talk it over with your players and say, hey, look, this is what I won't tolerate, because there's consequences. I'd rather be a hero, a knight in shining armor. I'd rather work my way up, right? Levels, and then defeat the big bad. Earn more stuff with that, being a hero. There's no reason. Okay, everybody's like, oh, being a hero is boring. Well, then play a bad guy, but don't be a murder hobo. Don't be a murder hobo, because it'll ruin the fun for everybody else. For you, you're gratified, but everybody else isn't, because you're just being an ass. But if you have a story that's tight and you have a discussion, if you communicate with your party, then you're looking at a story. Topic 2. Let me get my drink. Have some iced tea tonight. All right. Topic 2. Topic 2 is, what races do you allow? What races do you allow in your games? For me personally, I don't care. You want to play a dragonborn. You want to play an orc, stuff like that. That's up to you, man. I mean, the cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons is you could play any race you want to, right? And that's the cool part. Okay, so what races do you like? What races do you play? Let me know here. I mean, this is going to be a short topic, because, race is a race. But there was a thing online yesterday or a couple days ago about Wizards of the Coast, or I'm sorry, Hasbro, what they put out, saying it was a joke or a misunderstanding that you can't play. There's only one race, all dwarves. It was stupid. I watched a video on it, and it was cool. It's a cool video, but I'm not gonna name the YouTuber I was watching the video on, but it was a cool video, but it was misinformation, not on the YouTuber, but on the information. The information was completely false. And you take that how you want it. But races wise, what do you like? Do you like human? Do you like dragonborns, orc, elves? In my 1-shot or 2-shot, I have a bugbear. I never had anybody play a bugbear before. I think that's pretty cool. The bugbear. Let's see here. Let's take a look on what. Let's see here, because right now you have so many races. You could be. There's so many races. I mean, it's amazing on how ungodly huge this is. All right, here we go. So, what's your favorite race? Dragonborn, elf, gnome, half elf, halfling. We can go on, man. Asimar, Aarakocra, Air Genasi, a bugbear. Yeah, I just said one of my buddies is playing a bugbear tomorrow, so I'd like to see him in action. It'd be cool. Changeling, Centaur, Drugar, Deep Gnome, Fireblog. Those are cool. Eladrin, very cool creature. Or very cool. What's up on Twitch? Hello. An Eladrin is cool. We're talking about second topic on DM Talk. We talked about Murder-Hobos. What do you think about that? Now we're talking about what races do you allow in your games, or do you allow everything? I personally, as DM, I allow anybody wants to play whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. Depending on your campaign, depending on your campaign setting or what you're doing, not allowing it, your players might get a little mad. Oh, why can't I play a bugbear? Oh, well, you can't play a bugbear. Tomorrow in the 2-shot, one of my friends is playing a bugbear. I never played a bugbear before. I'm excited for it. It'll be freaking cool. So I can't wait for that. Excuse me. Fairy, Fireblog, Eladrin. One of my friends is playing in Eladrin, so I can't wait for him to role play that character, that race. Igithyanki. So that's cool. Goliath. We know a Goliath. No Goblin. No one's ever played a Goblin in my games before, so I'm itching for somebody to play something a little different. Harangon. Harangon, yeah. Had experience with that type of race. That's pretty cool. Hobgoblin, nah. Kenku, you know what? Where's love for Kenkus, man? Kenkus are very, very, very cool races, and I had him as an NPC in season 1. One of my guy, Goliath, Eddie. I miss him, man. He's not going to be in season 2. He will be missed. He's a great guy. He was Goliath, and he made fun of the Kenku. So he had like birdseed, and he would. Oh man, it was funny. A funny scene. Eddie played Thrall, the Goliath, and he did an outstanding job as the Goliath. But Goliath are very cool races. Kenkus as well. Cobalt, I don't know about that. What does everybody think online? On Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube. What do you guys think about these races? I mean, let me know what you think. What do you think of Cobalts? I mean, to me, why would you play a Cobalt? But I guess everybody's different, and depending on the campaign. If you want to be something really different, play Cobalt. Let's view the details here. It is pretty. It's small. Walking speed 30. Draconic Cry. All right. It's kick. Yeah, all right. It's awesome. Little Cobalt. Look, man. I don't like it. You want to play Cobalt? It's cool. You have proficiencies in one of the following arcana: investigation, medicine, sleight of hand, or survival. Does anybody here like playing Cobalt? I won't. But I'm sure you could find somebody on Reddit who created a kick-ass arcane archer Cobalt. So why not, right? I have this dude on D&D Beyond who um, he can't wait to play a Cobalt. So that's cool. There's people that like it. I don't have a problem with it. Cobalts, if you want to play them, play them. All right, so let's go back to races here. All right, so what about a Minotaur? Anybody like a Minotaur? Minotaurs are cool. I mean, if you watch the movie Clash of the Titans, it's barrel-chested humanoids. These tusks, or I'm sorry, horns come protruding out of its head. Very, very strong, very cool. That if you like that type of character or race, give me a shout out here. Let me know what you guys think. Lizard folk are cool. Hey man, don't don't give me a bad vibe on the lizard folk. They're very cool. They bite, hold their breath. They got this hungry draw, natural armor, natures, and intuition. And you know what? That's the racial traits. A racial trait for Cobalt is Dark Vision, Draconic Cry, and of course Cobalt Legacy. Sorry. I'm sorry, I don't like Cobalts. All right, let's go back here. Sea Elf, Shadow Kai. No, I mean you have and of course the Orc. Orc is I like the Shifter and the Changeling. The Turtle's pretty cool. I've had him as an NPC. The Turtle was an NPC at Paladin, and he was slow in movement. He did everything slow because I'm a turtle. I wanted personality and stuff when I made my NPC the Turtle, and he was cool. Yeah, let me know what y'all think of what races you guys don't allow in your games. I mean, do you allow turtles? Do you allow kobolds? You don't allow kobolds. You don't allow turtles. Let me know if you allow shifters or changeling or tabaxi. So, tritons, whatever, and I don't know, whatever you are. Look at this. This is great. You have so many races, guys, you could pick from. A Warforge, very cool. I'm iffy on the Warforge. So let me know what y'all think about races. There's a lot. It's not like it used to be when you first played Dungeons and Dragons. You had your elf, your human, your orc. You didn't have a lot of different races. You only had a certain amount of races. But either way, let me know. What do you allow or don't allow? Warforge is pretty cool. We're not going to go all over. We're not going to go over all the races. Loxodon is pretty cool. Minotaur went over them already. God, a Pharaoh Tiefling. Excuse me. Knowledge resistance, Infernal Legacy, +2 dexterity, +1 intelligence. Very, very cool stuff. You got your fish people. It's the fish people for races. Bugbear. Look at that. +2 strength. Yeah. +1 dexterity, dark vision, long limbed, powerful build, sneaky, surprise attack. Very cool. Going over all the legacy. Oh yeah, you can play a hen. Oh gosh. Yeah, let me know what y'all think of these races. What type of race do you play on Dungeons and Dragons? Or don't play or allow to play as a DM. So, whatever you guys want as a party. When you do your session 0, you can say, hey, I'm only allowing all elves, or it's an elf campaign, you know, whatever. It's a campaign setting. It's all the DM. Have your session 0, talk it over, and go from there. And on to my next subject, because the race thing is cool. But before we go to the next subject, I got more to say about the race thing. And races in general, all races, Dungeons and Dragons are cool. And there's some that are kind of janky, like the Kobold. All right, sorry, I wouldn't play. So what do when you have a dwarf, human, and Kobold, right? You have a mixture of races, and they do fantastic things. That's the cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons. That's the fantasy setting, is you have these elaborate races, and you mix it in a fantasy setting. Boom, you have a beautiful story that begins. A Kenku. And I keep saying, I don't know why Kenku's in my head. I just don't know. I like that race. I think they're very cool. Excuse me. A Kenku is, it's just one of those races that you like. I think it's cool. I think it has to do with the Crow. The new Crow movie's coming out soon, and I'm gonna go see it in the theater. It looks really cool, but the trailer looked really good. But I don't know. I like that character or race. I mean, if you go over, I know the Kenku, it really, really is a good race for you to play. Expert, duplication, Kenku recall, mimicry. Let's go take a look in depth at what he is. Feathered folk who resembles ravens. Kenkus are blessed with keen observation, supernatural, acute memories. Oh, I'm sorry, accurate memories. Duh. None of them can remember the origins of the first Kenku. However, they often joke that there are many Kenku origin stories as there are Kenku. So, with that being said, if you play this race in your campaigns, right? Their ability score increases 1 score of 2, and increase a different score by 1. Increase 3 different scores by 1. Follow the rule regardless of the method you use to determine the score. It's awesome. It gives you a lot of stuff. Lifespan. About a century. That's really cool. So, they range in weight and height. So, you're about the size of humans. You're a humanoid, obviously. Walking speed 30. Expert duplication. When you're copywriting a craft work produced by yourself or someone else, you have advantage on ability checks you make to produce the exact duplicate. Very advantageous, especially in a campaign. Kenku Recall. Thanks to your supernaturally good memory, you have proficiencies in 2 skills of your choice. Very cool. Mimicry. You can mimic sounds that you heard, voices and stuff. So, let's go back to this. Right? So, let's say that you're in a campaign, right? In a campaign setting, and all of a sudden, the Kenku sees a mysterious pirate or something integral, something important in the campaign, and he mimics it. Remember? Right? That race, that player who's using that, who's using that race and playing that race is very advantageous to your game. It'll help you out. You know, what do you use? Or what don't you allow? I mean, races, man, doesn't matter which one you use. Just use it, and have fun with it. Now, the setting is important because if let's say somebody uses a Triton, and there's no water in your campaign, why bother getting a Triton? That's why you have session 0. They're going to be water. What's going to happen is they're going to be a water-based campaign or whatnot, whatever, water somewhere. So, yeah, have water. So that is important. And the reason being is because when you don't discuss things with your players and they're expecting something, it ruins things. So the best way to do it is for you to have the session 0 and say, okay, one guy is going to be a Kenku, the other guy is going to be a Kobold, the other guy is going to be a Triton, the other guy is going to be a human, and the 5th guy, right, is going to be something odd like a freaking bugbear. Whoa. Cool. So you have 5 players, and they're all very, very cool, different races. You know what? That to me is fantasy. That to me is a great setting right there for a great story because you have a good group and you're going to kick ass in the game. But if you have these races and it doesn't comply with your campaign, let's say you do an urban area, right? Or in a city or a dark dungeon, and you don't have race that can help, it's going to be off the wall. I mean, you can do what you want as DM, but my advice is talk it over with the players, because if somebody's like, oh, I want to pick this cool race, they want to see it in action, why not give them a something so they can have in the game, and you're like, oh, I'm using a bugbear, he's cool, or I'm Triton, I'm in water, I can see a whole bunch of fish and plankton and a whole bunch of whatever, water, 20-foot waves and ships that are in the water, in the ocean, whatever it is you have in your game. Make sure that the players pick the races that will comply with your game. We're going to have a water-based campaign. Why are you going to have an orc? I mean, you can, but it's like this, right? So this is why old school games are simple, right? and you don't get into these, oh, you can play 60, 70 plus races. Right? So let's say that you have the old school game. You have your human, elf, orc, dwarf. You have 4 players. That's who they're playing. And they go into a water-based, underwater city, whatever. Well, in the game, and now you could play, water gymnasty. You could play the Triton, stuff like that. Just water-based races, and you can go ahead and do that. Where in the past, you would use your imagination as DM to say, oh, maybe this plant, I ingest the plant, and then it'll induce breathing underwater. Oh, I can breathe underwater now because I've had a little bit of the plant. But it's only limited and only for 20 minutes, 30, whatever. But it'll help your story out. That's what we did when we were younger, and we didn't have this elaborate, let's add subclasses and stuff. No, it was way different back then. And it was simpler, but your imagination was still there. You could say, well, the orc can't swim, but maybe his partner can. Or maybe we can use some form of magic in the game that makes him swim. Or something. Whatever. Either way, number one thing, discuss it with your party. Have your session 0 and say, hey, guys, I have a water-based campaign. Ding, ding, ding. And everybody is going to agree or don't agree. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pick whatever race that will comply with your game. That's the number one thing you have to do. Last but not least, we have the third topic, campaign length. How long are your campaigns? I want to hear from you guys. Let me know how long your campaigns are, because campaigns is the core of Dungeons and Dragons. Just remember that. Yeah, 1 second here. I'm looking at something. Okay, so the world you create is a stage for the adventures you set in. You don't have to give more thought to it than that. You can run adventures in an episodic format with the characters as the only common element. Also weave themes throughout these adventures, or build a greater saga of the characters' achievements in the world. A campaign can be what you want it to be. You can start small, like you're planting a seed in the ground, and then finally the plant grows, the flower grows. Just give it life. In my campaigns, I have a story written. You have your beginning, middle, and end, and then you have your plot points, your bubbles. You go from there, and those plot points connect. Some don't, because you cannot write what the players are going to do. Period. I don't care how good of a writer you are. It's not happening. If a player wants to go somewhere else, they're going to go. That's just the way it is. And let them. Because it's not just your story. It's their story. Number one rule of DMing is it's not just your story. It's their story. They're the ones that are the heroes. They're the ones that save the princess from the dragon. They're the ones that create the past, right? And then it opens up to something beautiful and bigger and better. Just like you planting the seed, the flower grows into a tree or whatever. Oh, it is. Or even a beanstalk. It all depends on how you look at it. Because the main thing you have to look at for a campaign is elements of the story, yes. But take the characters, the players' background, take what they know, bank on them. If you have this elaborate scene with a soldier and your players are entering a town and the soldier is looking upon them in a very strange way, role play your ass off. Bring that energy in. Get the players' energy in. Let everybody join the players, the party, with you in that energy. Okay? Bring them into your story. But as much as you want to control it, they take the road. Well, we don't want to go in that town. But you had everything set up. You had the innkeeper who had an affair with the tavern owner or whatever. You just had this elaborate story, and this governor needed heroes to help with a formation of creatures or orcs that were invading your campaigning to kill them, whatever. That story's gone. Bingo, boom. They went elsewhere. They went into the forest. So they had a road to the town, and they decided to go to the forest. So what do? What do you do as a player? What do you do as a DM? So you had everything written, and in this third topic called campaign length. If your length of your campaign is, let's say, 24 episodes long, and you have everything written in it, and your players are going different directions, there's other ways that you can use a plot device or plot points to bring those characters back, right? Have a carriage on its side with the woman, her clothes torn, blood on her face, and they approach the woman and they want to find out what's happening. Oh, there was a band of orcs that, that destroyed my carriage, and, you got your information, so the players are investigating, and they realize, they got to go back to the town to get more information. She was headed that way. But some of the players in the party are like, hey, you want to go adventure in the woods. One guy's like, nah, we're going to go to town first, maybe get some supply, then we'll go back. So as they go to the town, back to the town, then bring in your plot devices. Make them, don't force them. Bring out your plot devices in an entertaining fashion, but don't force them to go where you want them to go. Don't do that. You're not controlling them. They make the story. So they help the lady, right? She happens to be the governor, magistrate, whatever. The governor's, per se, let's say governor, the governor's mistress or wife. He was worried that his wife, she was gone too long, and she was gone for 4 hours. They were looking for her, but you guys brought her back. Oh, great, you brought her back. Thank you. I have a pouch of silver to give you because you saved my wife. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And you do that, and they are, wow, you do that. What can I do for you? And then you get, the magistrate, the governor, I keep saying magistrate, damn. The governor says, okay, what can I do for you? And the players are like, yeah, sir, we have this thing in the forest, this map, we gotta go to this cave. There's some cool treasure that we found a long time ago, but we want to check out. Can you help us that? Oh, yeah. I'll help you, but first, I was wondering if you could help me. If you will, find heroes. Give them a choice. When you do that, it makes the adventure a lot better. And the role-playing sequences are fantastic. But if you're forcing, and in your role-playing, they'll know. The players will know when you're forcing them to go one way. Oh, no, wait. I want you to come. Please help me. But if you do that scene and they say no, oh well. They do. It is their adventure. It is their story, just as much as yours. If you write, if you write that the end of the story is a dark knight, a black knight, a knight with black armor, with a silver sword, and that sword, when he draws a sword, the sun comes down. He's extremely powerful, right? And you know that the players don't want to fight him. Every turn, you see this knight on a black dragon swooping down, heading towards the player. You see the silhouette, of the dragon, and the dragon, knight jumps off the dragon and has this huge combat scenario with the player. What can you do? What do you do? Then the players are going to be pissed. Want to know why? Because that's not what they wanted. But if you do it this way, the players know of a great evil. Players know that this evil has killed thousands of people. And this evil, this knight, rides a black dragon. And they caught wind, heard stories of this knight. And he's killed, like I said before, these people, these villagers. That's it. Nothing more. But your players are not heroes. They have alignments like chaotic neutral. Do they care? What's in it for them? Treasure, gold, silver, magic items, stuff like that. They also heard a great power. So now that team, that motley group, decides, hey, you know what? We're going to go after this guy. The way I said it was different than the knight following them or being in an area. I'm here. No. See, in my games, the bad guy, the big bad, continues to do what he does. If he tells, if part of the story is in 24 hours, the king will die, and you're late, the king's dead. Yep, gone. Just the way it is. The guy's not going to be like, hang on, I have to wait for the heroes to come. Wait, hang on, 5 more minutes, wait, 2 more, 1. They're here, now we can have this huge epic battle. Nope, that's not the way it works. The bad guys continue doing their things. Boom, boom, boom. So now the players are moving towards the bad guy, right? And they move, and as they move, they see that something is going on. This big bad left a trail of death. Where did it lead to? The king's castle. We gotta get there. We know. We gotta get there. there's a lot you can do with plot points, and setups, and bring people in. It all depends on you. It all depends on your players. I bank off my players. There's some times where I had written, like I said before, in an area, and they went off an area that I had nothing written. I ad-libbed the whole scene. I went and boom. Sometimes they're going to have to interact with players, and you have to be a one. You got to be one up. You got to be 10 steps ahead, because if you don't, they're going to be like, "What the fuck happened to you? Oh, damn. They didn't go into cave A." No, they went into another tunnel, and I did so much work into the maps. They went into this other tunnel. I had nothing in there. No treasure, no creatures, nothing. So guess what? You're going to have to be 10 steps ahead. They went into that tunnel. What did they find? Well, stalactites, stalagmites. It's slick. You see something shimmer across the way. What do? Oh, shimmering, huh? Careful. You tread lightly. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's what you do. When the players, right, they run into that section in the dungeon and you have nothing written, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to fall apart. You're going to have to ad-lib. You're going to have to come up something out of your butt. Something quick, right? You're going to have to do it. It happens. And sometimes the best games are just out of nowhere. They just come, boom, boom. It happens. Because you write like names. Who am I speaking to? Sir Lennox. What the hell kind of name is that? Just came up out of nowhere. Sometimes I do this when I come up with a name. They don't know. What are you writing? Plot point. I'm not writing a plot point. I'm writing different names. And sometimes I have on my DM screen, I have a piece of paper that has a whole bunch of names on it, because you never know. Game tomorrow? Yes, Riley. Yes. Game. Yes. Yeah, sometimes you have to come up with something, and you have to come up with some form of format. Well, they entered a graveyard. Well, look up the monster manual. What's in a graveyard? Oh, zombies. Vampires, werewolves. Well, nothing. Shit. Thanks, Riley. Thank you. It all depends on how you look at it and how you do things. If you have an area where you're lost, take a break. Take a break fast. Because you'll be like, oh, fuck. They didn't know what to do in the graveyard. I don't know what to do in the graveyard. They're just coming in. They're just coming in the graveyard, and I don't know what to do. I'm done. So what do you do? What do you do? You need to come up with something quick. Went into the graveyard, and all of a sudden you see a hand come out of the ground. And you hear the cracking of bone, and you see the arm, and you see this individual come out of the ground, and he starts to move. Oh, that's a good question from Malt Licky. How long does it take you to write one session? That's a great question. It takes me about a couple hours. It depends on what type of session. I know the setting of the game. I know where I want to go with it. Like I said, I know the beginning, middle, and end. But the session itself, like for example, if the first part of the story, the heroes went into a tavern and then they're off to leave the town and then move forward, you're going to have to write after that. And it takes me about a couple hours. It depends on the scenario and what the players do. I take a lot of notes on what the players do. A lot of times when they're role-playing or interacting, I try to write down notes on what they do. And what I do is I go over their notes, and then I just, write from that point on. Sometimes you don't write. Sometimes you just bank off the other characters, because you have to, in a session, you can't write everything. It's impossible. I mean, you can, but it will be boring, because again, the players make the story, not you. You make the story, yes, but they are the ones that are the heroes. They're the ones that make the game what it is. People want to see them do their thing. Yeah, they want to see you too, but the players are the ones that do it. Hopefully that answered your question. Great question. To bank off of that, what if you write too much? What if you write too much? Wow, I didn't think that campaign length would go this far, this long. All right, is it hard to not knowing what players do in real time and have to react to their decisions? Yeah, it is sometimes. Reacting to some players in real time and their decision. It's like playing a video game. If you played, a lot of Star Wars games back in the day, role-playing wise, you had decision A, or you read a book, you turn to page 15, you can figure out where you want to go. You make up your own adventure. Reacting to a decision of a player sometimes can be very difficult. It depends. Here is one. My player, and I'm going to mention him before, my good buddy, he did something in one of my games. His name was Jim Sanders, the old school group that I had, that was completely off the wall. And, he would do things like jump off a building, in the game. And we were playing Vampire the Masquerade, not Dungeons and Dragons where you are a vampire. And he would, jump off buildings and do incredible shit. And sometimes when you're not supposed to do that, because in Vampire, the whole point is the masquerade. You're supposed to hide yourself from society, because if you're found out, the prince of the city will be pissed and send assassins to kill you, because you have just exposed them. So when a player does stuff like that, it really just opens up a can of worms. And sometimes it just continues. Shit, what are you gonna do? Here's one from my last session. This was the end of season 1. Timmy had he played Callisto, but he had an item that opens up a fissure in the ground. It opens up the fissure, and hell comes out, and it just kills you off the bat. Unless game wise you have a reaction, which was legendary resistance. You only have 3, but I screwed up big time. I totally forgot about that item, 100%. And when he did that, it just literally, my big bad creature was taken out within 30 seconds. It was like, ooh, I did, Homer Simpson, ooh, oh shit. And what are you gonna do? So I gave it to him. I'm like, yeah, do it. I didn't say, hey, no, whoa, let me change what I'm gonna do. No. But well, Licky, great question. That's something that you got to you missed what? What'd you miss? You missed the whole discussion. Did you miss the last season with Timmy doing that fissure? Anyways, yeah, we'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, anyways, that's something that you have to do. Reaction to a player's cockamamie ideas or reactions. You have to do something. You can't just sit there. If you have this elaborate scene with the king and queen and your players start goofing off, not because they're talking. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, Timmy did do that, Mutlicky. Not because they're being disrupted, but in game, the king and queen are being heckled by the player characters. And what are you gonna do? That's the DM. You gotta be on your feet. You gotta think fast. You have to. You can't just, Look, DMs get tired. DMs control the NPCs, the world, and describe everything. They get tired. I get tired. We all get tired. But the number one thing that I love doing is describing and immersing myself into the game. We had a game session that lasted, 5.5 hours. It was awesome. Those are the games that I want to continue. 5 hours is a long time. I'd like to play 4 hours and 30 minutes or 4 hours and 20. That's fine. 5 hours, I'll do it. It's a long time. When I was younger and I used to role play with my old group, we used to play longer than that. 6 plus hours. And it was a long time ago. And can I do that now? Sure. But it's tough because there's a lot to do. And in a session, if you have a checkpoint, right? And the players are rolling along and they go through your scenarios and you got nothing more to write. And how long are your campaign lengths, your sessions? Very simple. End it while it's good. Don't end it. Don't stretch it out. I love cliffhangers. Oh God. My players hate me for my cliffhangers. I love, and it's a compliment, I guess. Cliffhangers are cool. Mutlicky, Riley, he was in our Vecna campaign, and the cliffhanger for the end of the Vecna three-parter was a lot of the players were escaping, and Dom, he jumped on the dragon to get out. And one of the players just literally kicks him off or shoots him off, brings back the cord of the bow, and boom, nails him. He misses it and falls off and dies. I mean, they weren't playing lawful good character, but it was fun. It was advantageous per se for them. They enjoyed it. The Vecna game was very cool. Riley played a very cool character, and hopefully he'll rejoin us in the games in the future so he could have a blast or two. Yes, Riley, I'm inviting you. Anyways, what is the core to your campaigns? All right. And that's part of campaign length. The core of your campaign are events. And put everything in motion. Events and putting everything in the motion. Now, I love the DM's guide. The DM's guide, there's so much that's written in there, and you can do everything random. Roll, roll, roll. And when you do that, it just changes things. You roll randomly. It's fun because it gives your mind as a DM a break. And for example, if you're going to do a world-shaking event, you roll a d10, and you're like assault or invasion. For an event, myth and legend. What type of leader? Religious leader, military, crime lord. It helps you. Those things are important to your game. It helps you. And as DM, there's so much we handle. We handle the NPCs, we handle the story, the treasure, the items, all that is all a lot. Combat can be slow. So, on top of that, you have to learn, number one, how to, I keep hitting my table, I'm sorry. You have to learn how to manage, sorry, I couldn't find the word, manage your campaign length. End it. They left the town. They were being attacked. Hey, what's up? Hello, thank you. So, they were being attacked in town and they left. And as they're leaving, right, or they're being attacked, end it. End it while it's good. A lot of times I might have a scenario where there's combat and someone's just about to attack. Boom, I end it. Oh no, why? Right in the middle of combat? Why? It puts them on the edge. It gives the audience a wow, it's shaking. Why in the combat? They almost brought down the creature, or the creature has the edge on them. Next time on Playerole, we're gonna do episode 2. Boom. Whatever you want. It just brings them into the story even more. Cliffhangers are great for that. But also to campaign lengths. With me, one-shots are my little drawback. That's why I always have longer short stories, and I call them 2-shots or maybe 3-parters, like the Vecna campaign or the Vecna story. It was a 3-part story, and it worked fine. I couldn't do it all in one. I mean, I could have, but it would have been completely off the wall. Colonel McDougal says, I like some adventure to a session even though I don't have the game entirely. Okay. Okay. That's a great point. Yeah, having adventure in a session is all is all part of Dungeons and Dragons. Earlier I mentioned races. What's your favorite race, Colonel McDougal? What do you like playing as a player race wise? And, and as if you don't want to answer, that's fine, but it's cool. Um, I'm glad you commented. An orc or a dwarf? Yeah, they're cool. Um, I have my buddy Dom, who's in he's one of my players. He loves playing orcs, and my buddy Timmy likes playing dwarves a lot and elves. So yeah, those are very cool races. Anyways, to end tonight's CM talk, I was saying thank you, Colonel McDougal, for your comments, and I appreciate it. Hang in there. We have more to come tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central, here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and you can see us on Rumble as well. We'll be streaming together, and awesome. Thank you. Catch us there for our two-shot adventure, and I have only 4 of my players. I have 7. 4 will be there tomorrow night, and we're gonna have a great time. Oh, hey, awesome! Thank you very much. Yeah, nice talking too. Yeah, well, I'm trying to make the show go a certain time. Hopefully, I do an hour, 30 minutes for my other show, Creature of the Realm. But DM Talk, it's normally about an hour. But anyways, yeah, awesome. Thank you very much for talking. And I will see you next Friday, but I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, for our two-shot adventure. Do not miss it. It'll be great. And then in May 18th, season 2, we'll have the full party of 7 players and me. And we're going to have one hell of a season 2. I cannot wait for that. So please join us. Let everybody know about Playerole. Let us know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you. We got a lot of content, Colonel McDougal. Thank you. All right. I'll see ya. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot going. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central. Join us.